What is awakening when you wake to a higher consciousness? What is it? How do you define it? Well, in the Norse context, it's when you take your consciousness, which was existing at a certain level of the 9 realms, and you raise it to the next realm. And it takes time because you have a lot of subconscious archetypes and personas that might still live in lower consciousnesses. But once you raise it into a higher realm, you begin to see the world differently. When I began to wake up first in 1995, and then I had another awakening because I moved into another realm in 2012, and it's been faster and faster since. What ends up happening is you look around in the world and you realize how dark people are. And in fact, what will end up happening is, because of your higher consciousness, people will reveal their darkness to you, not necessarily to others. They'll be nice as pie to other people, but for some reason you irritate them. You irritate the darkness in them, and they will attack you. And people are seeing that now. They're seeing that if human beings are not aware of their subconscious and unconscious archetypes being locked into lower realms of existence, that those people, that if you are doing that, if you are not aware of your subconscious or unconscious archetypes, you will subconsciously or unconsciously attack, be cruel, demean, and shame another human being if they are in a higher consciousness. Now, we see this all the time, but we don't recognize it. Have you ever seen somebody walk into a room and they're just so happy and they are in love with themselves and they're dancing and prancing, and everybody else is delighted by the energy and by what is going on? There's a few key people and their face goes sour, and then I look at them and then maybe they turn to each other and they gossip, or maybe they say something mean to the happy person. That's an example of a dimensional mismatch. And what it is that if we are not tempering the archetypes within our subconscious mind, if we are not training them and healing them, they will run out of control, and we will subconsciously attack others in their path of ascension. And this happens to children. This is why people abuse children, because a lot of children come in from higher realms and their parents don't realize that they are unconsciously and subconsciously abusing their kids. We do this to family members. We see this with siblings, the way they treat each other. We see this in romantic relationship and in friendships. And a lot of people are not aware that their unconscious and subconscious archetypes are sabotaging them. Okay, so why am I using unconscious and subconscious? Because they're different layers. Most of us are somewhat aware of our subconscious behaviors. So let's say you have a spending habit, or you have a binge eating habit, or you just you really got this thing for this ex that you just can't say no to. That is a subconscious habit. You do it even though you're aware you're doing it and you're aware that you're hurting yourself. But you can have some measure of control over it if you are mindful. But if you are just relaxed and not even thinking about it, you will subconsciously make those sabotaging decisions. That's a subconscious habit. It's right under the layer of your superego. And then, but below that is unconscious. And a lot of us are not aware of our unconscious habits because they are unconscious. And the goal of most occults, and especially most spiritual practices that are for psychological and spiritual ascension. And I say that because there are occult practices out there that are just for people to get the bag and get their greedy, desires met. Those are fine. Like if you need to do that, that's fine. Those are what those occult practices are for. But there are other very serious occult practices that are for raising consciousness. And the goal is to make the unconscious conscious, to become aware of our unconscious desires and urges, which are hurting other people and hurting ourselves. You don't realize it, but every time that you unconsciously sabotage another person in their journey of ascension, you are actually hurting yourself. Because the more people who are conscious and awake and ascending into higher consciousness in this realm, it's going to make a happier realm. It's going to make a more loving, equal, and beautiful realm. So what ends up happening is when your consciousness begins to ascend, you look around and you're like, why is everybody so evil? And here's the trap, and here's the convenient trap that religion and a lot of spiritual communities will tell you. They're like, oh, these people are filled with demons. And it's very easy to see the demons and the darkness in others than see the demons and darkness in the self. It's always that easier. But you don't realize that once you start seeing the darkness in others, that is the important point that you need to turn around and be like, where's the darkness in me? That is the most important decision that you can make in your journey in ascension. The moment you notice the darkness in others, immediately say, where is that darkness in me? Because if you're noticing it in others, it's most likely in you. It's just emerging in a different way. So while you're going to Starbucks and your barista is cold and callous and rude to you, and you're like, man, this world is going to crap, and why are people so angry? Well, have you thought about how you acted on maybe somebody was going to the hospital and they were on the road, on the highway, they accidentally cut you off, or they were nervous and they had some sort of psychological issue and they got in your way, and you did the same thing that the barista did to you on the road, but maybe nobody saw that. Maybe you just blacked out and you didn't realize how cruel and callous and cold you are. And this is the humbling part of the spiritual journey. Instead of pointing fingers outwards, the moment you notice people are off, it just means that your consciousness is greater. And then you need to turn that inwards and be like, where am I cruel? Where am I callous? That is how you keep growing. Because if you focus on other people, what you're doing is you're stopping that internal churning and growth. You're stopping that inward looking. Okay, so if you think about the subconscious is like water, and the unconscious is that icy layer underneath. And your eyes or your perception is fire. Our consciousness is like Muspelheim. It's like the light of the sun. It's like Suna. And when we gaze into ourselves, we warm the waters of our subconscious, stirs it up, it churns. Sometimes it can boil. And that boiling melts the unconscious archetypal layers beneath our consciousness. And we begin to realize, oh my gosh, that barista at Starbucks was so mean to me. But how many times have I been mean to others because I felt like it was justified? And that's when you keep the ascension process going. That's where you keep the awareness and the awakening going. You want the warmth. You want to bring the light into the darkness. Yes, you're seeing the darkness in others. That's great. That's the first step. Second most important step is to learn to go within and be like, where is that darkness in me? Let me shine a light inside myself a little bit more. That's how we all grow.